Hello, everybody. So here we are for another career and spirituality conversation. So for those who don't know me yet, I'm Julie Pone, and I support spiritual seekers having a career experience to reconcile what they do for a living with who they are as a soul. And today I am I'm honored to have Sumit Sharma sparing some time with us from the other side of the world. Hi, Sumit, how are you today?
Doing great, Julie. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having me on your podcast.
Thank you so much for spending the time with us today. Thank you. And so we are going to start as usual by our 1 minute, 2 minutes breathing to ground ourselves, and then we launch into the conversation. So for everyone who can, without risking any incidents, just close your eyes. And the first thing we'll do is just feel the weight of our body on this earth and feel the weight of our feet on the ground. And just pressing our feet into the ground for a second as a way to acknowledge where we are on this earth. Maybe sending a little thank you to the earth for welcoming us, and bringing back our attention and our focus back into our chest, and in the middle of our chest into our hearts, and connecting with our hearts for a moment. And even imagining, visualizing as if our breath is flowing in and out through the heart. And now just breathing a little bit deeper and a little bit slower than we usually do for a couple of breaths, for a minute, a pause. Yeah, thank you. And when you're feeling good, just opening our eyes again, and ta-da, welcome back. Hello again. And so Sumit, thank you so much for joining us. You are a stranger who I already knew somehow. we found ourselves on LinkedIn, and yes, the connection was there. Something was there, and we are making it manifest in this conversation, and getting to know each other, and getting everyone then to discover your career path and your spiritual path and your life. So without further ado, I'm just gonna launch straight away. Sumit, what's your relationship to spirituality?
It's the same relationship that one has with light.
Okay. And how does this relationship expands or shows up in practice for you in your life?
I can just say that I always wanted to, from the time I was on this planet, I was trying to kind of figure out what the heck am I doing. That was really that was really the first thing that was going on. And at that point, I didn't really know who to tell it to, because I was actually really very small. And I used to have very troublesome nights where the questions would poke at me as to what is this existence all about? And who's this God who they talk about, who created us? And if somebody created us, then who created them?
Oh, I had never thought about that one. Thank you. Oh God, yeah.
So I'm this, like, child who's having almost sleepless nights, seeing huge clouds in his mind,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't know who to tell this to. Right? I can't even tell it to my parents. Like, what do I tell them? I have problems trying to make sense of this existence. They were busy
Yeah,
making a living.
yeah. Yes, you were a very mature child.
Yeah, I guess I was. I mean, when I when I should have probably played a little more, I was kind of busy doing something else.
Yeah.
But any which ways, it was pressing at me. It was the hunger was very, it was a very intense kind of a hunger.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't allow me to rest, actually, like, until I find out what the hell am I doing here, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I remember just looking at people, and even looking at people talking, and I'm like, who's this? What is this in front of me that is actually talking? What is this? What is happening? We call this person by a name. We address this person by a name, and they say who they are, and I'm like, really trying to make sense of what is all this,
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually I felt that life was a mystery, you know, eventually, because I felt that I was breaking my head.
Yeah, ouch. Mm.
So I felt that I was breaking my head, and this is definitely not how, it's creating more misery than joy. So I thought, well, life's a mystery. Best leave it where it is, and just do your best as a human being. Try to live your life the best way you can, and just die happily. And then
Mm.
whatever happens after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what happens after that? I'm curious.
Who knows? So then, so this was my introduction to, you can say, spirituality.
Mm.
A very rough one, you can say.
Yeah.
And oh, oh, and then it so happened that I found that the more I thought, the more the darkness increased in me. The more I thought about life, the more ignorance I ran into. You know, the more I thought about it, the more fuzzy it became, the more blurry it became, the
Mm.
more weird it became. You know, and and then I realized that, wow, this is really going in a direction uh, where normal human beings were probably not even thinking, they seem to be enjoying their life, and here I am, the intelligent one, who's miserable.
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah.
so so seen that having seen that, um, and some incidents occurred in my life, but I will not go into that. But the point is that meditation kind of came into my life. it was always trying to come into my life, really. My
Mhm.
father used to do a lot of meditation every day, actually. And he even tried to tell me to meditate. But I was like, what is he even trying to tell me to do?
Mhm.
Sit and do, what is this nonsense? Like, just I wanted to play. I didn't want to meditate.
Oh my God, you are so contrarian.
Sorry?
So, I'm joking with that. You were very contrarian. When you're meant to play, you want to reflect on life, and when you're meant to meditate, you want to play.
I mean, not really. The times when I was given to meditate or asked to meditate because,
Yeah.
for whatever value that my father mentioned is there in it. And the good thing is he never really tried to convince me to meditate. Just on a couple of occasions, he tried it. He saw it didn't work and he left it. He never tried it again.
Yeah.
So, so the thing is, I mean, yes, when I was sitting to meditate, again, you're trying to meditate with your mind. If you try to understand what meditation is, you're going to not get it. That's what was happening to me as a child.
Okay.
You can't get meditation with the mind. If you try to make logical conclusions as to what meditation is and what it will do for you, you're never going to be able to meditate. You
Mm.
know, so that's really what happened at that time. And so I totally forgot about all that, what was nonsense for me, and just went on with my life.
Mhm.
But you know, um, it's kind of funny that until you hit the truth, you cannot rest. Do what you may. Do what you may. We can kid ourselves that we can find a home in something else.
Mhm.
We can kid ourselves. But when you're really aware of your life, there's no way you can rest until you hit the truth. So, but the funny thing is, I didn't even know what the truth was and what, untruth was.
Mhm.
There was just life happening, There was
Yeah.
no such thing as truth, untruth, and all of that thing was not there.
Was there even a research? Was there a conscious research at the time to find some truth? Or was it coming up that way in your mind,
I'll tell
or
you what was
you
coming.
find? Sorry, go ahead.
What was coming is I knew that there's a power that exists. I even felt it that it exists right within me that wants to unleash itself, and it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. But I did not know how to tap into it or how to access it, or I knew it is there. And then uh, and then I'll go a little bit into this space of so when I felt that okay, life is just a mystery and you have to make the best of what life is, then what's the next thing that you do? For me, it was I want to be the as good as probably the richest people in the world, because perhaps the people with the money are probably the ones who are living a successful life. So success was the motto,
Mhm.
and life success being a motto in this world, life success translates into money, recognition, and all that stuff, you know. So while I was young, that was my focus,
Mhm.
make a lot of money and all of that thing. And you already know what happens when, your focus becomes making a lot of money. In that process itself, you notice so much suffering. When- so
Maybe unless the process of making money is a process that that you're making money by doing something that you really love, maybe.
oh well, that was at that point that's not the point. At that point, your whole idea of your existence is somehow being special.
Hmm.
Your whole idea of your existence is one up to everyone.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
up to everyone. So,
Mm-mm.
and when you have to be one up, misery is certain.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how
Comparison.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. So essentially, the idea of my well-being, my self-worth, when it comes from comparison, I am very poor, even if I'm a billionaire.
Mm.
I'm just a poor little human being. So obviously, luckily for me, when I was going in the wrong direction in terms of trying to, you know, trying to arrive at fulfillment through financial prosperity, trying to arrive at fulfillment through financial prosperity, and life was nice to me. It knocked me however way it should, you know, it ensured that I don't go in the wrong direction.
Mm.
So it in regular intervals, it kept bringing the knocks, and a point came where I just knew that I had to meditate. You know,
Mhm.
the ignorance became mechanical. The ignorance became mechanical. Now, what I mean by that is the thoughts that you have and the thinking. There was a spiral.
Okay.
It was suddenly as if there is a um, it was a very different space, where your mind starts bringing up all kinds of thoughts about what you're doing is right or not and stuff like that. And then I had to stop, and I had to find a way to figure out, find a way to end that misery, that suffering, really. So that was darkness, I would say.
Mhm.
um, the darkness is a result of not knowing the light. When you don't know the light, you are always, uh, darkness can enter your life because you don't know the light,
Mhm. Okay.
because all you know is to think.
Mm.
The highest that I can go is that I can think.
Okay.
Oh, so now to get to the point of spirituality, here's what spirituality is not. Spirituality is not an idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my relationship with spirituality. That it's not an idea. It is not something that I can reduce into an idea, hold it in my mind, and say this is spirituality. But rather, spirituality is the very light that is, always has been, but something that we are not aware of.
Yeah.
Something that we are not aware of. It is already always there, but we are not aware of it. We are aware of our thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
but we are not aware of the awareness that is aware of those thoughts.
We're not aware of the awareness
Of those thoughts.
of thoughts.
So the layer which is there, which is aware of the thoughts,
Mm. Yeah.
that layer. So being aware of awareness,
Yeah.
and you've touched what is spiritual.
Mm. Gotcha.
And here's another funny thing. What is real? What is real doesn't appear. It is. What is real doesn't appear. It is. But what is unreal appears. I'm talking about memories.
Okay.
I'm talking about the mind. I'm talking about me thoughts, you know. what comes to bother us. That's not real.
When you say unreal, you mean intangible?
No, I'm not talking about intangibility. What I'm talking about is that it is nothing but a mental construct.
Okay.
What I'm talking about as unreality, or what in spiritual world they often refer to as false reality.
Mm-hmm.
So what really, now going back to my childhood, what really troubled me was false reality.
Ah, okay.
You know, the I that wanted to question who created me, the God, the devil, and the whole nonsense around it, you know, that's unreality.
The constructs.
I think we are frozen here.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was for a second. Yeah, we're back.
Okay. So you said something.
Yeah, I said, what did I say? Oh yeah, I said the construct.
Yes. So if you see, when I do not know the light, when I do not know the light, I try to make my idea of trying to arrive at the light is through thought. You know, my idea of trying to arrive at the light is through thought, and thought always takes me um, uh, in time.
In time? Is that what you said?
Time, yes, time. It's, and reality is timeless. It was, is, and always will be. So the tool that I'm trying to use to make sense of what is timeless, you know, I'm trying to understand timelessness with time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that is the ignorance that we have to catch. The thing is that we have as human beings, we have an ability to think, but the only thing is we think that the ability to think is everything. You know, so it's and that using this ability to think, we can even think about that can never be thought about. So to get this simple fact, and you know, sometimes it's troubling for the mind. It's troubling for the mind to not be able to get it in the mind.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I'm reminded of a small example, a metaphor, that a man wanted to go to the moon, you know, and he thought he can just go and buy a Ferrari, you know, and he will get in the Ferrari, fantastic car, and he will keep going horizontally when he has to go vertically. So he's going to keep going in circles, but he believes, you know, that is the ignorance, that I always take a Ferrari whenever I want to go anywhere. I always take my Ferrari, you know, it helps me reach places. So now I want to go to the moon, but oh, my Ferrari is waiting for me. So I get on the Ferrari and I'm trying to get to the moon, and all I'm doing is going round and round in circles and wondering why the moon isn't showing up.
Right. That's
So
it's a brilliant metaphor. Yeah.
So the simple thing is for us to get off the Ferrari, board a spaceship, and there you have the moon. Now, the only problem is we do not know that the spaceship exists. We only know that there is a Ferrari. And what meditation did for me, like it will do for anyone else, is make you aware that there is a spaceship very different from the Ferrari, and you just board it and you fly.
Yeah. Where do I buy the ticket?
It's already bought for you.
Okay.
It's already bought for you. The damn spaceship is waiting for you. It has been waiting all your life.
Okay.
You know, it has been just like the damn spaceship was waiting for me all my life.
So what you're saying is like we are already in the spaceship, except we don't know it?
Absolutely. The awareness of awareness. The awareness of awareness.
Hmm.
And when we board the spaceship, it appears unreal.
Mm-hmm.
What is real appears unreal. What we know, what we are acquainted with, is our mind. We are very acquainted with it. It's familiar. We are very familiar with the mind, even though it often brings us so much misery. And why does it bring us misery? Because we've counted on it a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
We are expecting it to take us to the moon. It can't do it. So that's what it means to have a relationship with the light. So the point is, whenever what I found is, like, whenever you find yourself troubled with thoughts, whenever you find yourself troubled with any thought, no matter what it is, what we try to do is find another thought to counter that. Trying to kind of find a lane, a passage that can somehow help us exit the lane of thoughts, the jungle of thoughts. But when we try to find that passage, the thoughts just lead us more into thoughts. It leads us more into the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want the exit is not a thought, but the light.
Okay.
The answer to darkness is the light, the light of your awareness, where you do nothing about the thought, just say goodbye to it and enjoy the light. So essentially, for me, spirituality is all about, that him that is there, this little guiding light of mine. So it says, this little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine all the time, let it shine. That's it. That's it.
Oh my God, I love it. Do you have some advice for meditation for us?
I just want you to contemplate on this particular fact that spirituality is not an idea and meditation is right there. You don't even have to close your eyes really. You don't have to sit in any posture, any pose. You don't have to do any sadhana. You don't have to do any practice. You don't have to go to any guru. You have to do absolutely nothing, but just see the fact that spirituality is not an idea. It is a light that illuminates your life. And what we are really looking for is that illumination. And the illumination is in the light, where you don't have to do anything, but just, be home to it. The light is, if I put it in another way, the moment from the time I've come into this world, I've been searching for home. I've been feeling lost. From the time I came in this on this planet, I've been feeling lost. I've been searching for a home, and I finally found it in the light, not in my mind, not in the world, in the light. And every moment you can be home, relax, and breeze through your life.
Okay.
No friction. No friction.
So Are you saying somehow that it's just a choice?
Oh, well, choice enters when freedom enters.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, when you are not aware of the light, where is the question of choice? You're roaming in the jungle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You
So
know,
with the concept of choice, we're still in the construct of the mind.
it's actually yeah. I mean, you don't have to. You know, it's about responsibility,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
not choice, not choice.
Okay.
So when and responsibility is again, if I would touch on this word, the mind interprets responsibility as blame. The mind's interpretation of responsibility is you're not responsible, you know.
Yeah.
so so no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the mind's idea of self criticism or criticism of another. I'm not talking about responsibility in that context. I'm talking about responsibility in the context of now you know where home is. Now you know that the light is home. Now you know what you want, what you should be doing when a darkness comes into the picture. The mind is trying to see. The thing is, our mind is full of lies.
Full of what?
You know,
Lies?
lies,
Okay.
garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And the mind is never going to accept it's like the mind has a certain preoccupation with its delusions. Okay, so the mind is never going to accept the light as the light. It is only going to see itself as the light.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, all references to the war between light and darkness is really not really a war. It's just that the mind has difficulty. The mind cannot see that it is a lie. It's always going to insist, and even and it's going to insist and say, "I am the light."
Mm-hmm.
It's the false. It's the false light. It's going to masquerade as the light. It's going to try and keep you in the prison. And that is the reason why you have to contemplate on this fact and see that it is your responsibility now to be with what is actually the light. And what promises to be the light is really what is promising some kind of survival stuff, some kind of garbage. It's trying to tell you, I need this, I need that,
Yeah.
stuff. It's going to bring up stuff. I just call it garbage, whatever it is. And it is best to not analyze the darkness, how it came, what happened. Like I noticed this at one point. I used to when I was figuring this all out, there used to be a time when it used to be like, how did this darkness come about? How can I just don't do any of that? um, the real message is, yes, now I come to the actual final message that I wanted to give.
Uh-huh.
Across the board, we've been told that heaven is after you die.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven is after you die. You be a good human being, and one day somebody's going to come and judge you for your deeds. And if you did enough good deeds, the doors of heaven will open for you and all of that. I'm saying you don't have to die to go to heaven, but only see that heaven is the only reality. Heaven is the only reality. So if there is misery coming in my life, it's coming from unreality, not reality.
Mm.
And this is not something the mind can digest, because the mind is trying to further think and ask a question: am I unreal?
Am I what?
Am I unreal? When you're real, you don't have to ask that question whether you're real or unreal.
Yeah.
You're so real. So yes, that's really the whole point. So what really ended uh, the the cycles of misery, you can say, was coming in touch with this truth that the answer to an idea which really comes to bother you, the idea of, let's say, who created this world, God, blah, 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 the answer to that is drop the idea. You're home in the light where you don't have to ask any questions. Just enjoy your life.
Yeah. Drop the ideas. Drop the mind.
Yes.
Drop the
Drop the ideas.
Drop the ideas. Okay.
Just drop it. I mean, if I just dropped, if those questions that came to me, if I just dropped them, what would happen, you know? I wouldn't have ignorance. What was calling itself knowledge was ignorance. What was calling itself knowledge was ignorance. This is what you have to see. It's the other way around. What calls itself intelligent is unintelligent. Worry says I'm intelligent. You know, it's intelligent to worry. How is it really intelligent to worry? We know what it does to us. But it calls itself intelligent. But we have to, it's the light that shows us that it is unintelligent. Thank God for the light that it exists. Had it not been there, we wouldn't know it is unintelligent. This is why it is very, very important to touch the light. It's nothing like anything the mind knows.
No, I hear that. But then when we finally touch the light of, is it a sensation? Is it a feeling? Is it something we experience?
Yo, thank you. Thank you. You know, what has been actually, it is not something that you have to grasp. Okay. It is something that you have to embrace. You have to realize. It's not something to grasp. So when this is what is the thing, the problem. When somebody speaks about truth, light, reality, heaven, our mind goes into imagination. Oh, heaven, you know. Yeah. Oh, what I wonder what's going on in heaven out there. Yeah. You know, and even if somebody mentions hell, then there is further imagination. If I mention devil, then you have devil, you know, all the movies that you've seen with the devil there, the mind will manufacture a nice devil for you.
Yeah.
And so goes with the case with God. All the movies that you've seen, everything that you've seen in the name of God, the mind will manufacture nice gods for you. But what I'm saying is, the mistake is to think that I can capture God in my thought, in thought.
Yeah. In a way, it's talking about it is counterproductive to experiencing it.
All right, then here's a metaphor for that. There was a garden, nice, beautiful garden, you know, and obviously all those lovely flowers, roses, lilies, you name it. I don't know many names of flowers, but now in this garden, so a man walks in, he looks at a rose and he says, "What a beautiful rose," you know. And the rose thinks, "What is a rose?"
Yeah.
Okay. Now that thought takes rose away from the rose. If the rose wants to know what it is, it can only know it by being it, not by thinking about it.
It's all about being.
Yes, absolutely. And the reason why I keep saying to you that, Julie, thank you for being you. Yeah. Because when you are being you, you don't have to think about, I mean, if you ever thought, what does it even mean, being me? No, there's nothing to think. There's nothing to think.
Yeah.
And how this also ties into what you really do, which I really love, is the fact that a rose is a gift into this world, into the garden, you know. And we are all brought up with the premise that we are to compete. I should be the only beautiful flower in the garden.
Mhm.
That makes for a very poor garden, you know. What makes for a rich garden is a garden full of beautiful flowers,
Yeah.
a variety of beautiful flowers. So, and that is exactly, in a sense, what we are all here. We are all those beautiful flowers in the garden, which makes the garden all the more beautiful. And that we don't have to become any more exclusive, but rather just be who we are,
Yeah.
and our beauty shines through. And everybody makes for a very rich life. We all together make for a rich life. If you try to become exclusive and secluded, that's poverty, the only poverty, really.
Yeah. So we're all beautiful individual flowers in the garden, and I'm going to use that as a segue into the practicality of, like, we are living in the garden, so we are living life and we get to work, etc. So these realizations that you've had, how does that shape possibly how we are gonna make decisions for our very practical materialistic life and career decisions and life decisions? And maybe how has it been for you on your journey?
Unlike anything the world says it is supposed to be like, unlike anything it says, unlike anything the script was like.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, if the rose looks at a sunflower and says, why am I not like a sunflower? Why would you ever want to do that? Why would you ever want to do that? But that's what is happening in our world. I'm not a sunflower. you know, and our parents are telling us, you're not a sunflower. Why don't you see I'm a rose? Let me be a rose.
Mhm.
That's how I can fully express myself authentically.
Mhm.
If I try to become a sunflower, I'll be a miserable human being. Even if I can copy and try and imitate the sunflower, even try to pretend that I, I have petals like that.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what really it is. When you are who you are, and you don't have to think about it, you
Yeah.
are who you are in the moment that you are. You are. There's no further definition required for it. You are. You can say, in a way, it's a presence. And this presence has a fragrance. Every presence has a fragrance.
Oh,
Every presence. There's not a single flower in this world that doesn't have a fragrance. And what you're really doing by saying that, aligning spirituality with career, it's really kind of knocking out all the past false beliefs about what a career is supposed to be like, you know? So, uh, and the more you will do this, you will eventually find that you don't really know what your career is supposed to be like. It will unfold for you.
mhm.
So, and that this life is not about being rich or poor. It's about how much I flower as life. My life is really about flowering as life.
Mm. And how did it manifest for you?
How it happened for me is by losing all the nonsense that I thought I was supposed to be.
Mhm.
It's really not about acquisition. It's about actually um, um, becoming poor. All that wealth that appeared like wealth to you was trash. You just get rid of the junk. You just go zero. You have nothing. That's how it happens. You give up all your possessions.
How did you do that?
I mean,
In a
your
sense?
possessions, in the sense, uh, all your ideas.
Oh, yeah, 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 yes, yeah. Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
what I'm talking is more on this in the sense of a metaphor than, I'm not talking about giving up your family or, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes people mistake that and they go into the Himalayas
Mhm.
thinking something else.
Yeah.
So, so yes, that's how I arrived at it, by just
Yeah.
bye-bye. It was like bye-bye to everything that came with a promise of some kind of security in this world,
Okay.
some kind of, it's
Mhm.
like becoming absolutely naked.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. Or essentially, to put it simply, right now in this very moment, you can have everything in the light. That's your home. When you're in the light, you're home. And you don't have to think about what you need and what you don't need. It's just gone.
Mhm.
Effort is gone.
Effort is gone. That's a great,
It's gone.
great promise.
You're like a duck in water.
Mhm. Mm. So what's your career? What does your career look like?
Hmm. I don't have a career
Okay.
and I don't need a career.
Okay.
All I all I am doing is unfolding each moment.
Okay.
Being. So what is my career really? I mean, everything ties into that one thing, your being. So when you're authentically showing up in the world, who knows? I don't know. Did I know that I was going to have this conversation with you? Never. No. you know so who knows? And that's what I'm really talking about, that when you are in the light, you don't know anything, but you know that you are in the right place.
When you are in the light, you don't know anything, but you know that you're in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because there can be any bad place. There's only one place, the place where we are, right? Yeah.
Heaven is now. Heaven is real. Heaven is the only reality. You can't go wrong in the light. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you're in the right light, you can never go wrong.
Mhm.
That's all, and that's what I was really looking for. I wanted to be in this space where I am able to, where well-being expresses itself, the way it has to,
Mhm.
where life happens the way it has to, you
Mhm.
know and where I don't even have to think about what's going to happen to me after I die. It's all gone. Over.
Sumit, I've heard you use the word yogi in our previous, in our written conversations. Does the word yogi is for you what encompasses that journey that you've had? What is it?
Yogi is actually uh, not a story, not a journey. Yogi is now.
Okay.
A yogi is always now. He's not of the past. He's not of the future,
Mhm.
because all that really exists is now. So when you're being you, you're actually being a yogi. You're being in union with all there is.
Mhm.
You're not trying to classify or define yourself in any way, shape, or form. You know.
Yeah.
So you can only be a yogi in the light,
Mhm.
and everybody who is in the light is a yogi. It's just a way, a word to express what that experience is like, really. So not really a designation, not really an outcome of the past, nothing.
Mhm. And not just someone who has a yoga mat.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could
Okay.
be doing yoga for 1,000 years and still not know what a yogi means.
Okay. Mhm. So
You
then,
know,
what was the purpose of yoga? Like yoga, is a practice that's supposed to help to get to that realization of being?
absolutely. The purpose of yoga is really to, um, uh, to. It so happens that from the time we've come on this planet, all we know is getting somewhere, doing something. It's always like that. Jitteriness is there.
Mhm.
You know, rest is not something that we know when we are awake. We don't know rest when we are awake. Only when we go to sleep, some of the people know to rest, you know. Yoga brings us to rest when we are awake. And when you're awake and when you're resting, you have a chance to reflect. You have a chance to reflect. You have a chance to stop, to pause. So to pause while being awake brings about awakening. That's really what everybody is trying to do, really, with their gymnastics.
It's not just about bendy legs.
Yes, it's, I mean, you know, that's really the point, that, and but nobody will tell you that, or nobody, quite a few times, if you go out there in the world, you really, you know, the one of the most dangerous places to go is to go to a guru to get knowledge. One of the most dangerous places to go is to go to a guru who will give you knowledge. A guru is not supposed to give you knowledge. He's supposed to destroy all your knowledge, which is ignorance. So, you know, but as I said, we go with our Ferraris. We always go with our Ferraris. We try to, you know, something comes in, our mind is very happy to just call it knowledge and say, I know something. And what it knows is just doom. You know, you have to, I mean, when you go in the world of spirituality, you have to keep the Ferrari at home. If you go with the Ferrari, you know, you're going to keep going in circles. You'll never go into the space. Yeah. So that's really the whole point of spirituality. And that's really why it is so difficult for people to really get it, because they go with a Ferrari. Now to become conscious of the Ferrari is really the first task. Yeah. You know, so there's a bit of a journey there, but you can really quickly get to it. You can really quickly get to it if you just rest.
Okay. Rest, pause.
Yeah. Like, I'm not running around like someone in need. You know, I'm not running around like someone in need. Oh, I need that job, pay my debts. I have debts. What is this guy crapping about spirituality? I have a big, large bill to pay. Spirituality isn't going to pay my bills. All this mumbo jumbo talk about light, it does nothing for my belly.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's really what is happening. That what do I get out of it? Can I get something out of it? That's really the preoccupation when I'm going to into the sphere of spirituality. Can I get something out of it? Oh, that's it. That's where misery comes. What can I get out of it? Yeah. No, you're not supposed to get something out of it. You're supposed to lose everything.
You have it backwards.
Absolutely. Yeah. But if you told somebody that, they'd run away. Oh, lose everything. No.
Yeah.
Yes, that's about it. That's really the core essence.
And Sumit, what's about, you seem to have a passion for telling the story of people.
Right.
And is this a way of getting someone to see the flower fragrance, the fragrance of a person, to reveal the fragrance of a person?
Yes, you're right. What I'm actually doing is there are false people have experiences. In the story, there are experiences, in the story, there are experiences, and people kind of tend to think that just because they missed a step, there's something wrong with them, you know.
Mhm.
I want to, through those stories, help them see that there is nothing wrong with them.
Mhm.
It was just a misstep, and that they are not the mistakes. They are not the mistakes, because um, it's really the idea that I should, you know, it's really the idea that what I was talking about, the false reality. Now,
Mhm.
false reality comes into the picture uh, when you're sitting quietly. You know, I can tell you a very simple example. Let's say you and I meet for the first time. We connect. Our connection is live. We share what we share. We communicate, and then when we sit, you know, when we sit, and then there's this, the false reality comes into the picture. Like, how did I perform?
Say it again, sorry. How did I?
How did I perform in that interview? You know,
Oh, yeah. How did I?
what did he mean by that? What did she mean by that? Okay, and then, oh, I should have not said that. Oh, I wonder what she'll think about me, what people will think about me. So you see, this is this inner dialogue that comes in time.
Mhm.
Okay, when we are communicating, we are fresh, we are absolutely, there's none of that is going on. But when you're sitting and then false reality comes into the picture, how did I perform? What's happening? And then into that, the spiral of me thoughts, you
Mhm.
know, that's false reality. That's false existence. In the light, you don't have to think about how you performed. You don't have to. You have the conversation, you drop the mic, and you go home.
Yeah.
You don't think anything after that. You don't have to, because you're always busy living in the light.
Mhm.
No preoccupation with me is my salvation.
I like that.
My misery is only my preoccupation with me. So I'm not preoccupied with myself, I'm free.
Mhm.
When I'm preoccupied with myself, I'm bound by the false self, the illusion of the self. That's the false reality. That's the false reality.
Mm.
So you have to catch it. You have to catch it. The moment it tries to come, la, 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 you say, bye bye, I'm home.
Yeah. Oh, God. That hits home. That hits home very much. Yeah, actually, it hit home for a lot of people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm tempted to say like, oh, yeah, no, I never do that. No, no, I never, I
No,
never get too much
you
into
don't even
myself.
have to go into that. You don't even have to go into that thing that, do I ever do that or I don't do that. It's really
Oh, yeah, me
what
too.
I'm trying to say is that we are innocent, and anything that says that I'm not innocent is a lie. You immediately drop it. You immediately drop that thought also, that I am someone who is full of vanity. That is also vanity.
Yeah.
So you take nothing from your mind in context to yourself.
Yeah.
Just don't take anything from it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
be the
Just,
rose. Don't try to think.
yeah. Just do it. Just use it to go places, the places you need to go, because we need to live in this,
Oh,
to
yes, absolutely.
materially. But that's it.
Don't try to get an identity from the mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you try to get an identity from the mind, it's
Yeah. Ooh, that was so rich. I mean, it's funny because, like, that's you're giving me so much to think about, yet I shouldn't be thinking about.
absolutely. You
Yes.
caught it. You caught it. There's so much to think about, and immediately the thought when it comes, there's so much to think about. There's nothing to think about.
Yeah.
Heaven is already here. There's nothing to think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
No effort needed.
No effort needed. Yeah.
Yes, you're whole right now, this very moment, complete. You are the rose.
Yeah.
You are Julie. That's, you don't
Yeah.
have to be anything else.
Oh yeah. Oh, Sumit, is this the perfect conclusion, or is there some last words, or is there something else that you want to leave people with that we haven't talked about? Or
All I really want to say is
Mhm.
recognize the light as the light.
Mhm.
Recognize the light as the light. Become aware of awareness as awareness, and you will never have to worry about a thing in your life.
Mm.
You really will never have to worry about a thing in your life. Not your relationships, not money, nothing. Absolutely, not your career, nothing, absolutely nothing. It's all gone. Isn't that the best thing in the world?
Da. Yeah. Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Sumit, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share.
Yes. Thank you for sharing so openly. And so I'm gonna leave everyone on this. Just let's just be. Let's just be. Let's just be, and see you next week for the next conversation.
Oh, otherwise they'll forget you, you know.
Yeah. No, no, yeah. We'll be in another conversation next week, so don't miss
Who needs another conversation, Julie?
it.
Oh.
Yeah. That was fun. That was so much fun. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Sumit. Thank you, everyone. And I shall see you soon. I love you all.